Hello, Aries rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on 1st of June until 7th of June. So we don't have many major aspects, but we have got some asteroids moving forward. So welcome back. Today we are breaking down the upcoming week from that 1st of June to 7th of June, and we are looking at this specifically through the lens of Aries rising chart. So if you're an Aries rising sign, this week holds a very specific narrative arc. You are moving from a state of stubborn friction regarding your material security through a massive awakening in your local environment and ultimately landing at a crossroad where you have to balance your deep private emotional life with your fierce independent drive to conquer the world. The story of the week is about how you protect your resources while radically updating how you communicate your worth. So let's map it out day by day so you can navigate this energy seamlessly. Well, the story begins on the 1st of June when Mars is in square to Juno. So Mars, the chart ruler, is currently moving through your second house of personal finances, values, and self-worth. Mars here makes you highly driven to secure your cash flow, but it's in Taurus, right? Which means you are digging your heels in a little bit. And Mars throws that square to Juno in your 11th house. And Juno represents commitments, partnership, and agreements. So this might be bringing in topics of, for example, a business venture, or you would like to launch a project, something that you are passionate about. And the financial costs associated with that long-term project might be a little bit higher than you expected. This could be also a bit of a tug of war between your personal money and, in a way, your shared commitments towards a group of people. You might feel like that the friends or like spending a lot more resources in a way that triggers your financial survival instincts. Or you might find yourself resisting, for example, an agreement because you feel it threatens your material independence. The lesson for Monday is to watch the urge just to bulldoze the situation. Your chart ruler is stubborn right now, but digging your heels in too deep will only crack the foundation of that important commitment. Now, on the next day, 2nd of June, we get a bit of a stabilizing release valve. The sun, which is lighting up your third house, the house of communication, ideas, marketing, daily logistics, making your mind travel a mile a minute. And then the sun forms that very supportive sextile to Saturn, which is sitting in your first house, the house of self, identity, personal brand, personal authority. So if you felt restricted on Monday, Tuesday can give you the exact strategic blueprint to get your power back. This is a very good day for your personal projects, writing or business management. Saturn in your first house gives you discipline. It gives you the connection to that third house, which allows you to take a chaotic brainstorm and organize it into something flawless, like a concrete execution plan. If you need to pitch an idea, negotiate a contract, record educational content, you have to be having maybe a bit of a tougher conversation with someone, then this might be kind of giving you that winning edge because people would listen to you because you aren't just talking like nonsense. You are speaking with something like more structured, practical expertise. Then on the 3rd of June, it's quite a major day, actually. Mercury is in your fourth house, the house of home, family, emotional foundation, forming a very nice trine to the North Node in your 12th house, the house of subconscious, while actually sextiling the South Node in your sixth house, the house of daily grinding. This is a profound moment of psychological relief. For a long time, you have probably been caught up in like six house trap of overanalyzing your daily routines, micromanaging your health, stressing over the little tiny flows in your work. And Wednesday might bring you that intuitive download directly to your home space. Your gut instincts are incredibly sharp. You might realizing that trying to intellectually fix every detail is exhausting you, and finally find kind of like emotional peace to surrender and trust the bigger picture. Remember that Mercury is the ruler of your south node. So this is giving you an opportunity to release six house matters, which is perfectionism, for example, wanting to fix everything for others. And of course, the heavy first house is at the same time telling you that I need to be able to practice a lot of self-care. Now, simultaneously, Ceres meets Uranus in your third house. And that's a bit of a literal shock to your immediate environment, daily schedule, communication style. A sudden piece of news, a disruption in your local neighborhood, sharp realization about a caretaking role forces you to upgrade your daily logistics. You are breaking free from an old, codependent way of thinking, clearing that mental clutter just to make room for radical new ideas. Series is about nurturing, so you can have a lot of new ideas coming around, which might sound very weird at the beginning, but this could also indicate that something good can be coming out of it. So don't just, and the fact that Mercury is the dispositor of that series Uranus conjunction, trining the North Node. So all those weird stuff, ideas, weird connections, out of the box kind of like communication can bring you a lot of growth, which is going to be helping you to put something down. Now, on the 4th of June, we are going to be having Bacchus entering Leo. On the same day, we have got Ceres that is about to start a square with the nodes, and Juno is going to go retrograde on the 5th. So as we move into the latter half of the week, the narrative shifts a little bit towards creative expression and long-term contracts. Because June 4th, Bacchus enters your fifth house, the Leo part of your chart. And this is celebration. Bacchus loves being in a sign of Leo. It's celebration, it's romance, it's artistic passion. It all comes into your life. You're ready to let loose, step into the spotlight, and enjoy the fruits of your labor, really. But then June 5th, that demands you to stay grounded because Ceres in your third house moves into that square with the nodes in your 12 and 6 house. So that logistic shocks from Wednesday hits a crossroad on Friday. You might find yourself flooded with data or trying to solve an emotional or spiritual problem using purely logical Gemini arguments. The universe is blocking that path. If you try to micromanage your daily schedule or overanalyze a situation, you will trigger anxiety with that. To add to this, Juno stations retrograde in your 11th house, the house of networks, friendship, long-term alliances. For the next few months, your agreements with groups, communities, friends, business networks are going under review. You are being forced to look at your social circles and ask, are these collaborations treating me equal? Or are they restricting my personal freedom? This is not, I'm not saying that for the next few months we should do negotiations. It's about reviewing our kind of like contractual agreement. We just need to let the energy slow down a little bit to be able to see things clearly, where kind of like the scales need to be rebalanced. Now, we also are on the 5th of June when Persephone enters your second house, Taurus. That's where your chart ruler, Mars, is actually waiting for Persephone to come around. So remember the financial tension from the beginning of the week where, this is where you reclaim your power. That's what Lilith did. Sorry, Persephone did. Persephone is a psychological shift where you decide to build unshakable material boundaries. You are no longer bargaining with values. You find empowerment through taking fierce control of that bank account, your physical well-being, your tangible resources. The grounding is actually amplified further on Saturday when June 6th asteroid Lilith enters your third house, the Gemini part of your chart. With Lilith in your house of speech and communication, I think any desire to bite your tongue or play nice kind of completely vanishes. I think you are reclaiming your voice. You will have zero tolerance for gossip or double standards or anyone trying to tell you how to think and how to process information. If any Aries rising could write, teach, or create content, this could be a phenomenal green light to speak your raw, unfiltered truth. Your voice becomes a tool to be able to kind of liberate yourself, a tool for absolute liberation. And then the closing of the week is on the 7th, where Mercury square Vesta. And Vesta is in your first house. Mercury is still in your fourth. So this is a classic work versus home kind of tug of war. Vesta in your first house has you intensely dedicated to your independent goals, your health, your personal mission. Maybe you want to lock yourself away and focus on your flame. However, Mercury in your fourth house brings pressing domestic responsibilities, family conversations, emotional needs that keep interrupting your flow. If you try to do both simultaneously, you will experience mental burnout and frustration. The trick to navigating Sunday is strict compartmentalization. Don't let guilt dictate your day. Set a timer, give yourself 2 hours of uninterrupted solo time to work on your personal goals, and then intentionally switch off the workspace to be fully present with your loved ones and your emotional peace. So, a bit of a summary of the week. It feels like you're stepping out of financial uncertainty, upgrading your daily mind, learning that your voice and your independent focus are just your greatest assets, really. Trust your gut, set your boundaries. Don't be afraid to rewrite the rules of your commitments as well. So, good luck, Aries rising sign. Thank you for being here. Do let me know your personal experiences in the comment box below. It's very important that you like and share the video or subscribe to the channel or make a comment so that I can reach more people. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. Bye bye.